You know, something I just thought about something. You know, I sent Preacher Man off Bully the intro to Drake first.
Really?
Really?
What happened with him?
It's like he said something like, "Oh man, don't mean to like spoil your dreams or some shit." I don't know. He just did his thing and shit. Like maybe I think before it's all said and done, like I'll do an album on it. You know,
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. If you know really look tired, I am tired. Um, I've been going in a run for the last 2 weeks, and I'm trying to see if I can make something happen with my life with this welcome to this YouTube thing. I know the enemy is trying to discourage me, but I love his Savior. Gonna keep me strong, and I'm hoping you guys also will be my support to keep me going as I go through this strategy. I can even speak the word. Um, so we're gonna start with GG Academy page so we can know what the hell's going on. So this lady right there, I don't today start talking about Coil Away and Triple Red situation about breaking up, not breaking up, and him cheating, not really cheating because they're already on a break. Um, I think because of being an influencer, people who have a lot to say in their platform, because you always gotta have content, and sometimes just people say shit just to say shit. Like if you're a third wheel, if you're a side chick have no self-respect for themselves. They're like proud to be side chick nowadays. They'll go for it like, I was the side chick. I was the side chick. I'm like, bitch, shut the F up. Enjoy the whatever you taking out of this situation. But because of so much content and people want to be using whatever situation they're going through as a because they think, hey, if I put this on social media on my platform, I will get more subscriber people because they know people love drama. People will check on that. So he's talking about a situation of coil away while she's pregnant, while she's going through a situation she's going through. And they said the worst time thing can happen to a woman is when she's pregnant. That can interrupt his postpartum. And for another woman to go through try to, you know what I mean, just for cloud, it just show how the level of vitriol that we are in now in this country, in this um time we in this country. What else going on? What else going on? Was bruh. I haven't make a video about it, but let's get this, man. Uh, uh, I haven't seen that thing. Um, I don't know where I don't see it here. I'm looking for something in the podcast I saw. Academy posted, but I don't know what's going on. Maybe sometimes it's for the page needs to be refreshed. Bro, let's see what happened. DEI hire at the Atlanta D office making shit show even worse. Um, Young Thug, Young Thug, man, is going through some shit right now. Just a few hours ago, you know, Young Thug been texting a lot, been posting a lot about what's going on in Atlanta with the federal person. It looked like because of all those things Young Thug been doing, they did this. It looked like the state of Georgia filed motion to revoke Young Thug probation. Damn, bro, they're really trying to get this shit locked up after they already agree a certain thing. Now because he's talking about the different case that they are working on, and they got mad. They try to get him to get locked up again. Man, that's what happened when they said uh do not take bail time because it can be short lived because whenever the police get mad or you don't negotiate to give it other people and just so they can look good, bro. That's what happened. And it looked like the prosecutor try to not only cancel the agreement to the insurance company, but that also. Bro, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. So today, guys, um, bro, I don't know how long they're gonna continue this, but so far it looked like he's winning. It looked like he's winning because New York lawyer against UFD over Kendrick Not Like Us moving forward. A judge denied the label motion to just to drop it, and also now allowed for Kendrick Lamar and his team to go interrupt the I don't know. I was just happy. So yeah, he got Universal to not only that, but guess what? Not only that, but he also get UMG to get him to open Kendrick Lamar book. I mean, not Kendrick Lamar. To open and Young Thug and they send a letter to have this motion denied, and also they get a chance to enter to see Kendrick Lamar new contract. This guy is petty to the most, and Yonta had to come first to confirm is and post and say that just few minutes ago and say at 9 o'clock, about 2 hours ago. I don't make threat to people. I don't. I'm a good person. I will never condemn anyone threatening anyone or define participate in threatening anyone. I'm all in peace and love. So he's denied threatening anybody in this and a third. We'll say was that enough for a judge. I guess Drake. Ye is doing a second interview in Japan with Ye. Yeah. What else is going on? The jumper.
phone on time lapse, and then you put it above the headboard, right? And let that bitch hang down and just let it sit there while you're on the bed.
Mm. Bro, look at this guy, bro. Adam22 announced that his platform, No Jumper, is going broke. So he's laying off a lot of people. He's not sure who's gonna be in it. Oh, hi, how you doing? Over your sound. Thanks for coming. Appreciate that. 11:36, 39. Oh, I didn't even see you guys. Thank you so much. My first welcome. I guess you're a Drake fan. So Adam and Leah, 20 people. So he even talk about it in a video. I wish I can find a video where he talk actually. I know where he talk about it a little bit. On his World Star Hip Hop.
So there's something that I've been hiding from you guys. No Jumper is going broke. I know that might sound crazy. Between both of our YouTube channels last month, we got over 25 million views. We're doing well on Facebook and Snapchat. We employ quite a few of the hottest content creators on the West Coast, and we pump out an insane amount of content on a weekly basis. How could we be going broke? Well, let's start here. We expanded too much during COVID at just about the exact moment that our revenue streams all took a hit. We hired a whole bunch of editors and other employees, and we bought a huge office building that cost us almost $4 million, thinking that the growth that we were experiencing during the pandemic was going to continue. And unfortunately, that did not happen. Our YouTube numbers, which had doubled or even tripled, gradually returned to normal. Our Snapchat and Facebook numbers, which had exploded during COVID, sometimes even hitting 6 figures a month, shrank by about 80% or more. Our Patreon, which was absolutely killing it for a year or two when we were doing uncensored. So there's something that I've been hiding from you guys. No Jumper is going broke. I know that uncensored, aka nude interviews with up-and-coming superstars like Kazumi and Sky Bree fell off quite a bit with the launch of Plug Talk and a decreased interest in seeing us interview stars. In addition to that, you might recall that the channel took quite a hit when approximately 8 of our hosts left the platform in March of 2023. Although we've definitely largely recovered and managed to build up a very healthy roster of talent since then, that certainly took a toll on our business for a while as well. All that stuff hurt the business, but we were still solidly profitable. That is, until the last few months, where we experienced 2 major L's that we never could have seen coming. First, we lost the No Jumper Instagram. After almost 10 years of building it up and essentially no strikes on our account, we got taken down one day, and we still have absolutely no idea why. Uncensored, aka nude interviews with up-and-coming super.
So No Jumper said he's going broke, and yeah, that's totally a sad situation. Hopefully, man, he can recover. But there's a lot of people about to lose their job and opportunities. And that, I guess, is officially the guy that green light from the studio to have a new Friday movie is on the works. As set to return, and we'll see how many people return in that. If you haven't seen Friday, where have you been? Yeah, and also KFC dropping new chicken fries. I guess it's gonna be like the one you see on Burger King, where it's like a skinny chicken. They are really nice. We'll see how theirs look. Okay, that's that. Let's jump into news.
See this property on Craigslist for $4,300 a month? Well, it's been sitting empty for the last 28 days.
Well, the breaking news of the night is that Donald Trump has lost another very important vote. That makes 2 nights in a row of breaking news about Donald Trump being on the losing side of a very important vote. Last night, the voters of Wisconsin crushed Donald Trump and Elon Musk's candidate for a state Supreme Court justice, and instead elected the candidate supported by the Democratic Party in Wisconsin, Susan Crawford, to be the next elected Supreme Court justice in the state of Wisconsin. But tonight, the Republican-controlled United States Senate made history by voting against Donald Trump for the first time. Donald Trump lost the vote in the United States Senate tonight. 4 Republican senators joined all the Democrats in voting against Donald Trump tonight in the United States Senate, 51-48, in favor of a resolution that would nullify any claim of presidential authority to impose tariffs on Canada. This is the first big crack in the wall of Republican senatorial support for Donald Trump. Republicans voting against the Trump Canadian tariffs in the Senate were Senator Mitch McConnell, Senator Susan Collins, Senator Lisa Murkowski, and Senator Rand Paul. Donald Trump began his day with a social media post attacking those 4 senators, and still they defied Donald Trump. Rand Paul said as clearly as I have been saying for years the truth that other Republicans dare not say, that tariffs are taxes on the American people.
Tariffs are a terrible mistake. They don't work. They will lead to higher prices. They are a tax, and they have historically been bad for our economy.
Donald Trump's secret is out. Tariffs are a tax on American consumers only. Foreign countries don't pay those taxes. Trump supporters wouldn't believe me when I was telling them that for years, but now Republicans are saying it loud and saying it clear. Mitch McConnell said it today. Now the financial networks like CNBC are saying it constantly. And tonight, the Wall Street Journal, in its editorial in response to Donald Trump's announcement of the new tariffs today, said tariffs are taxes, pure and simple. Back in the 20th century, a nerdy right-wing Republican in Washington who never held elected office, named Grover Norquist, bent the entire Republican Party in Washington to his will. It was pathetic to watch. In effect, he forced them to sign a pledge to never vote for an increase in taxes of any kind. And every single Republican member of the United States Senate signed where Grover Norquist ordered them to sign. Every Republican presidential candidate signed where Grover Norquist required them to sign in order to be Republican candidates. And almost every Republican member of the House of Representatives signed exactly where Grover Norquist ordered them to sign, to never, ever, ever support an increase in taxation of any form. Republicans lived in fear of this guy, that guy right there in the middle. At the time, I declared Grover Norquist to be the most powerful unelected person in Washington because on one issue anyway, he had complete control over one of our political parties. Former Republican presidential campaign manager, my friend Stuart Stevens, wrote a book about the Grover Norquist-controlled Republican Party after Donald Trump was elected president, and he titled that book, "It Was All a Lie." It turns out Grover Norquist was and is a lie. Grover Norquist has revealed himself not to be a principled anti-tax crusader, as has every Republican member of the Senate and House of Representatives, because at some point, every single one of them has supported Donald Trump's increase in taxation on Americans through tariffs, which are sales taxes administered only on goods imported into this country and paid only by Americans in this country. Every one of those Republicans has either actively supported those taxes by Donald Trump or held their cowardly silence about them. And Grover Norquist, the nerd who was once perceived as the toughest Republican operative in Washington, is hiding tonight in his permanent cocoon, outraged that Democrats and Democrats only voted to increase the gasoline tax in America. In 1993, the Democrats voted 4.4. That included spending cuts imposed during the Trump-Pence administration and will cost American families over $3,500 per year. And so tonight, we have
between two.
Hey, if you want to keep working 50, 60 hours a week in a career building wealth for the enemy's plan, just so you could keep holding on to that six-figure salary, it's a good idea you ignore this and keep scrolling. But if you've been
$200 million and $400 million worth of lobster to Canada each year for processing. There are 240 lobster processing plants in Canada, but only 15 in the United States. I share the president's goal of getting more of that manufacturing done in the state of Maine, done in the United States. But the fact is that if we impose these tariffs on Canadian processing, it's going to be our Maine lobstermen who will bear the cost. It's going to be consumers who bear the cost. The price hikes that will happen for Maine.
the markets closed on Wall Street. Even before he spoke today, the Wall Street Journal called Donald Trump's plan, quote, the He has been a star for most of his life, beginning at his public high school in New Jersey, where he was a football at Yale Law School. And while he was at it, he gave in 18 minutes against, which was proved.
Ego got too caught up that if I stood here, maybe, just maybe I could break this record. The man who tried to stop the rights upon which I stand. I'm not here, though, because of his speech.
Senator. Cory Booker, when really no one was watching, by asking Senator Booker nice, long questions that allowed Senator Booker to rest his voice. That is the very point of the long questions asked by senators who support the filibuster. Their long questions allow the speaker to preserve vocal strength. But in the questions that the Democratic senators presented to Senator Booker, those senators found
Oh,
Experts say it's a great time to take advantage of today's high property values, and a home equity investment from home.
Fresh off an election in Wisconsin where voters said no to Elon Musk and to Doge, NBC News has learned that President Trump has told members of his cabinet that Musk will leave in the coming months. The two reportedly discussed his transition back to the private sector during a March 24th cabinet meeting. Trump said this week that Musk would be going back to his company, quote, at some point. But last night's rejection in Wisconsin could possibly affect that timeline after Susan Crawford, the liberal candidate in the state's Supreme Court race, won a decisive 10-point victory over the Musk-backed conservative. It's a rebuke of the $20 million of his own money that Musk spent on the race and his last-minute pitch wearing a cheese head and handing out checks. Who wouldn't love that? Today, Musk tried to spin his way out of rejection just days after saying that the judicial race would decide the fate of Western civilization. He now says he expected to lose and claimed that the biggest issue in Wisconsin was the question adding the state's existing voter ID law to its constitution. Joining me now to discuss all of this, MSNBC political analyst and former Senator Claire McCaskill and Christina Greer, political scientist and host of the FAQ NYC podcast. Claire McCaskill, this race was supposed to decide Western civilization. And now he says it's not a big deal. That makes me think this did not go as he expected.
Yeah, you know, when you put on a cheese head and you walk out in all black and you do a 2-inch jump and spread your arms like you're a middle schooler, that you don't have a firm grip on reality and how you're going to be perceived by most people in Wisconsin. He really motivated.
Good evening. I'm Alicia Menendez, and it is a very big week in politics, with Americans quite possibly waking up to the havoc being wrought by President Trump and Elon Musk, with Republicans losing a big race in Wisconsin, despite Musk pouring more than $20 million into the race, and with closer than expected results in 2 special elections in ruby red Florida congressional districts. All of that. Senator Cory Booker struck a chord with his marathon speech on the Senate floor. We watched it together, firing up a Democratic base that is desperately seeking fighters. But we begin tonight with President Trump putting the world's economic system at risk with a tariff announcement that is deeply unpopular, even among Republicans.
We cannot pay the deficits of Canada, Mexico, and so many other countries. We used to do it. We can't do it anymore. We take care of countries all over the world. We pay for their military. We pay for everything they have to pay. And then when you want to cut back a little bit, they get upset that you're not taking care of them any longer. But we have to take care of our people, and we're going to take care of our people first.
Joining me now, Senator Adam Schiff of California. Senator, as we come on air, the Dow's future down 1,000 points. We were told by the president it was Liberation Day. Are you feeling liberated?
No, I may be liberated from anything in a 401k, as millions of Americans will feel that impact and will be liberated.
This is how to get in shape fast.
If you want to drop this,
start eating more of these.
You might. And former Attorney General Eric Holder joins me now. It's good to have you, General. What do you view as the stakes of last night's race, and what the meaning of the Democratic victory, or the Democratic allied victory, was?
I mean, I think you have to look at it on 2 levels. It means that for the state of Wisconsin, you're going to have a Supreme Court filled with justices, or at least 4 of whom will, I think, look at the facts, look at the law, and use that to make determinations about the constitutionality of statutes and just deciding cases. But beyond that, I think what happened in Wisconsin reverberates beyond the borders of that state and was, as Elon Musk said, a referendum. the Trump-Musk alliance and what it is that they have been doing to our country as they try to reorder our society. And what people in Wisconsin said is that, no, we're not going to put up with that. We're not going to first let you buy a seat for their preferred candidate on the Supreme Court. And second, that we're not in concert with or not supportive of what you're doing to our country.
You served as Attorney General under Barack Obama. It's a really difficult and really important job. And you served in that position, and I think it's fair to say at a different moment in this country's history, vis-a-vis the Justice Department's relationship to the White House. The Trump administration basically says there is no independence to that body. They might as well be White House staff. We tell them what to do, who to prosecute, who to not prosecute, who to unprosecute, which line attorneys get fired in violation possibly of civil service protections because they have political leanings we don't like. As someone who had that job, what are you thinking as you're watching this transformation of the Department of Justice into an explicitly partisan power tool of the president?
I'm very concerned about that. I mean, obviously, I'm disappointed. I'm disgusted. But I think the American people need to be very, very concerned, alarmed, scared by this possibility. If you empower the Justice Department in the way that they are doing to make it basically an arm of the White House, a political arm of the White House, and empower the people in the Justice Department, the Attorney General, for instance, to say, you decide who you're going to prosecute and prosecute people on the basis of, political disputes. That's something that is really, really, really awful and really scary. Beyond that, though, it's also a protective thing. We've had this whole thing about Signalgate, and the fact that the Attorney General is saying, well, I'm not going to look into that.
Mhm.